Hello, my wonderful majors. How are you guys doing? I hope that this day has been wonderful to you. So I am going to go over some classwork real quick with you guys. You guys should have already taken the notes for Unit 3, Day 1 and Day 2. You might need to go back and revisit some of those. That will kind of help you. But right now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about angles, because now we're in a unit 3, where we're talking about parallel lines, right? Parallel and perpendicular lines. So there are types of angles. I'm going to highlight this, and it's so important that you know these different types of angles. Ooh, look at that. So one of the types of angles that we're going to learn about is called corresponding angles, okay? And so right here, you can see that angle 1 and angle 5 are what you would consider to be corresponding angles. Hold on, let me change this again. So angle 1 and angle 5 are considered to be corresponding angles. So that means if you have a transversal, so your transversal is the line that cuts through both of your parallel lines, right? So my transversal, I'm going to do red, right? A transversal is a line that both of your angles share. And then I'm going to have two parallel lines right here. So I have angle 1, so this is my first angle, and then angle 5, which is right here. So the transversal is a line that both angle 1 and 5 share, but line L and M, right? Line M, angle 1 shares. Line M, angle 5 shares. Corresponding angles, this is what a corresponding angle looks like, okay? So 1 and 5. Other corresponding angles that they have there could be angles 2 and angles 6, okay? And there's other corresponding angles that you can find as well, all right? You have 3 and 7, you have 4 and 8, right? Another one that I want to go over is the alternate interior angles. Your alternate interior angles, this right here. Dun, 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 dun. Uh-oh. Sorry. Your alternate interior angles, I'm going to do this green. Your alternate interior angles are going to have a transversal. So my transversal is going to be green. All right. And I'm going to have two parallel lines. And I'm going to say my one parallel line is blue. And the other one is blue. So this is my L and this is my M. All right. And an alternate interior angle would be like my 4 and my 6. Now, so my 4 is inside of my parallel lines, right? This is my 4, inside of my parallel lines, in between my parallel lines. And this one is also in between my parallel lines, but on the other side of my transversal. Do you guys see that? So they're within the parallel lines, inside, in between the two parallel lines. But for the transversal, they're on opposite sides of the transversal. So 4 and 6 would be an alternate interior angles, but also angles 3 and angle 5. All right. Now we're going to go into alternate interior angles. Okay. Alternate interior angles. So that's where I'm going to go ahead and draw my parallel lines like I did before right here. Okay. And I'm going to say that my transversal is going to be red. Okay. I'm going to go back to my blue. So this is going to be line L and line M, all right? And my alternate interior angles are going to be angle 1, so it's going to be angle 1 right here. Now you see it's on the outside of your parallel lines, right? And then angle 7. This one is also on the outside of your parallel lines, but on opposite sides of your transversal. So your alternate interior were in between your two parallel lines. This one is outside of your parallel lines, but it's also on opposite sides of your transversal. So here's the thing to know about this, that your alternate, this is your corresponding angles right here. So I'm just going to draw a line here. This is your corresponding angles This right here is your alternate interior angles, and this right here is your alternate exterior angles. The important thing to know about all three of these angles is that all of these angles are equal or congruent. Oops, I'm sorry, that looked kind of messy. But you need to know that, because as we move on further in this unit, you're going to be setting up some angles. You're going to need to know how to set up the equations, how to set up your angles. And you need to know that your corresponding angles, your alternate interior angles, and your alternate exterior angles are congruent, equal or congruent. Okay? So you guys can go ahead and fill in for your alternate interior right here. You guys can come up with an angle there. Consecutive interior angles are 4 and 5. Consecutive interior angles, right, are 4 right here. I'm going to do it, highlight again in blue, and 5. So that means that they're on the same side of the transversal in between the two parallel lines. Does that make sense? All right. And so another consecutive interior angles would be what? It would be angles 3 and angle 6. All right. So the next thing that I want to go over is there's another angle that I want to go over, and I'm trying to figure out where to put it. I guess I'll put it on this side. So your consecutive interior angles, which is also known as your same side interior. So same side interior angle. But then we have one more, which is same side exterior angle. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, because I didn't draw this diagram here, so I'm just going to come all the way over here. I'm going to have my two parallel lines, L and M. I'm going to have my transversal. Remember, the transversal is the line that both angles share, okay? And I'm going to go back to my blue. Wonderful. So let me back up a little bit. Let me go to the consecutive interior angles. As we discussed, it's 4 and 5. So 4 was right here, and 5 was right here. And these are called consecutive interior angles, or same side interior angles. Okay, now we're going to do this again, because now we have same side. This is parallel line. I'm sorry, this is line L and line M, but now we have same side exterior angles. Okay, so I'm going to draw my transversal again right here. And now for same side exterior, it would be, let's say this is angle 1. It would be angle 1. Sorry, my thing is messing up. It would be angle 1, and then it would be angle 8. Okay, and this is same side exterior. Now, the important thing to remember about this is that these angles always add up to equal 180. Now, if we can understand corresponding angles, what that looks like, our alternate interior angles, what that looks like, alternate exterior angles, what that looks like, and that these, all three of these are equal or congruent, and then know what these, identify these angles, which is same side interior angles and then same side exterior angles, and know that those equal up to be 180, I think we can pretty much navigate through anything. All right. So that's the important thing that you need to do. Again, all of this I'll review when we get back to class. I will do all of this when I get back to class. I see you guys on Tuesday. Okay. So this right here, they're asking and they're wanting you to look at these different angles. So name the type of angle relationships. If no relationship, write none. So let's look at angles 2 and angles 3, because that's what B says. All right. Now, if we go back up here, we recognize that there's a transversal. So our transversal, I'm going to highlight in red. My transversal, I'm going to highlight in red. So you can see that both angle 2 and angle 3 share the transversal line. That means they have a relationship. They share. They both touch this line, right? But then there are two parallel lines. So the two parallel lines, 3 only touches line Q, and 2 only touches line P. Do you guys see that? Now, this right here looks like, let me scoop this up a little bit, looks like the same side interior angles. So we have one transversal that they share, but both of these angles are in between the two parallel lines. Okay? So that means that this right here would be a what? We can put same side interior angle. All right? I want you to do the same thing for C, D, E, and F. Okay? And this one was given. So they gave you 5 and they gave you 13. These have a relationship because they share the transversal. So I'm going to highlight the transversal, right, in red. All right. So we know this is a corresponding angle. Now, I'm looking at this. I don't want you guys to look at any of this other stuff. All this stuff is distractors. As of right now, we're just looking at the two angles they gave us. They gave us a 5 and a 13. So 5 and 13 share the line B, but then 5 is on this line. Let's call this line C. And then 13 is on this line, which is D. Now, if you go back up and you look at your angles, you recognize that this is going to be a corresponding angle. Corresponding angles, they share one transversal. One angle is outside of the parallel lines and the other one is inside of the parallel lines on the same side of the transversal. And that's exactly what we have right here. And that's why this is corresponding angles. Okay. So now we're going to go to the next one, which is 7 and 14. So I'm going to erase this right here. The good thing is that for 7 and 14, guess what? They share the same what? Transversal. So angle 7 is here. Angle 14 is here. So they share the same line, which is B, but angle 7 is on line C. Angle 14 is on line D. Remember, we're not paying attention to all these distractors because they will give you a lot of distractors once we start moving into parallel lines, right? Parallel and perpendicular lines, right? So they will give you a lot of distractors. We're not dealing with anything on this side, so don't even focus on it. If you need to, cover it up with a sticky note or something, okay? So here we are, we have 7 and 14. With angles 7 and 14, let's look back up and see which angles share a transversal are inside of the parallel lines, but on alternate sides of your transversal. And that is going to be what? That is going to be your alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles, okay? So this is going to be alternate interior angles. All right, so that's what you're going to do for all of these. So I'm going to remove all of this. Okay. You guys should have this copied down. When I get back to class, we'll be using a lot of highlighters and colored pencils to help with highlighting and coloring things, coloring lines and transversals so that you guys can see exactly what you have going on. All right. So, sorry this is sideways, but this is the exact same thing. Right here, they want you to be able to identify what angles they are. If you go back to the next page, what you're going to do is the same thing that we did for these. when they're asking for alternate interior angles, we know that alternate interior angles, they gave us some examples. So looking at this, I'm going to erase this. So looking at this, an alternate interior angle that they gave us, sorry, I'm going to get a color. An alternate interior angle that they gave us is 4 and 6. 4 and 6, guess what they do? They share a transversal. That's how we know that they are in relationship. They share a line together. 4 and 6 both hit on line T. Now there's two parallel lines, line L and line M. I'm going to go ahead and highlight those different colors as well. Line L and line M right here. Now, they're in between the parallel lines. 4 is on an opposite side of the transversal line than angle 6. That's how we know it is a alternate interior angles. Angles 4 and 6, and even angles 3 and 5 can be considered to be alternate interior angles. It's the same thing. So all of this that was written down here is what's going to help you navigate through this one right here. All right. Again, this does not have to be perfect. I'm just helping you to work through this. When we come back to class, we can work through it together. This is the exact same thing. The only difference is they want you to color it. So you can hold off on this one, because I don't think that you have coloring and crayons with you. If you do, that's great. If not, that's okay too. All right. So now we're going to go to parallel lines and transversal. I think what I would like for you guys to do for this one is we can hold off and do this one in class as well, because I think that this one will, it would be better if we did this one together in class. So as of right now, with everything that you have, you should have completed Unit 3 Day 1 notes, Unit 3 Day 2 notes, and then you should have completed, oh, hold on, let me get my little thing. You should have completed this right here, all of this work. So this work right here will take you a minute to work through this, right? Page 2, this work right here, and then page, if you have crayons, you can do this one, page 3. If you have crayons, you can, as long as you have different colors. If you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 different colors, you can do it. It doesn't have to be pink. It doesn't have to be light blue. It doesn't have to be yellow. It doesn't have to be green, just colors, all right? But at least you can name, if you don't color it, you can at least put the angle in there. So if it's a corresponding angle, write corresponding angle. If it's alternate interior angle, write alternate interior angle. And then we'll come back and we'll do this. So we'll do the parallel lines and transversals together as a class. All right. I think you guys are absolutely amazing. And I'm sorry that I'm out today, but I will see you guys on Tuesday, and I'm excited for this next unit. And I will see you guys soon. Have a great day. Oh, wait, and have a better weekend. All right. Bye.